Welcome to Company Hour number 2. I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. This is the final video for the night. Excuse me. It is my chit chat about where I'm going to take my life. Okay, so a lot of things happened over the week. As you guys know, I did have some thing for 9/9, but it was the same thing as it always has been. And I need to get my ass in gear on that about finding the workshops and doing all the stuff. Because as you know, I've been with 9/9 for 9/9 for about 5 to 6 months, and I haven't gone to one workshop, but I have paid them. You know, so it's my own damn fault. I've just been busy trying to get school shit straight, trying to get my life straight, crushing the fuck on Zeta Zhang, you know, wishing that I was her husband, all kinds of stuff. Distractions, man, distractions. But the less that I do for 9/9, the less I do for myself. So I'm going to get my shit together. No, I am not going to get in that spider suit, but I did wash and grease my hair tonight, so I'm just going to throw this on. So, Friday at 11 a.m., I did talk with 9/9, so they're going to fix my profile for Echo Fan Grey Wolf. They're going to fix my height. I believe that I can email her pictures if I have pictures that I need to retake. I don't know how to do that, but I'm going to attempt that. So that's kind of like the plan for the week. Of course, we know plans go wrong, especially with me. Tomorrow, I am going to do a martial art video for you guys. I mentioned that 2 videos ago about bow staves and sticks and shit like that. And providing that the weather doesn't fuck this shit up, you know. So we're gonna do that. But I'm attempting to get this martial art thing going. I'm attempting to get this acting career off the fucking ground. I'm attempting to marry Zeta Zhang or die trying. I'm going to do all these things or I'm going to die trying. No. I'm only putting out good vibes. I am learning to love myself more, which I recommend everybody do. So thank you, Pete Davidson, because if you can pull Kim Kardashian, I'm going to die, but I'm going to do my damnedest to get Zeta Zhang to be my wife, i.e. the art show, you know, in the song. So I'm going to try to take my life in a positive direction, and I hope you guys are with me. You know, despite our political views and our political differences and how much murdered and missing indigenous stuff that I'm going to be trying to put up here as well, we got some issues that we need to discuss in this world and how bad this world actually sucks and how one political party is this, one political party is that, when the truth of the fucking matter is that both political parties give 2 shits about us, or as Zeta would say, no fucks given. Now, the thing on that is that, you know, if we're not careful, they're going to run us into the earth, and not in a good way. And this earth is all we have. Because by the time we're old and dead, and they start exploring Mars and whatever, I'll be dead. At least I'm hoping that I'll be dead, because I damn sure I'm not going to Mars. My people are genetically made for this planet of Earth. They are indigenous, and I'm sticking to this Earth. Now, if everybody else want to go to Mars, have fun with that. Just make sure you take a lot of fucking hardware. Laser guns, nothing beats a bullet. So, you know, maybe gravity, but, you know, for the most part, nothing beats a bullet. And if they can colonize Mars, happy Exo Squad, goddammit. Happy Robotech. Do whatever the hell you need to do, but leave my ass on Earth. Now, on the downside of that is if you guys start making Gundams, my ass will be too old to fucking fly one. So, yeah, don't do that. But then if you do that, you know, I'll be watching from heaven. And whoever gets the death sight, my spirit will get into that machine. Okay, enough jokes aside. You know, I'm open for voice acting as well, which we also talked about on 9/9 on the video. So I'm open for everything. I'm even open for singing, even though I suck at it, you know. But hey, it is what it is. Miracles can happen, and I intend on pulling some miracles out my ass. Not just these underwear. They should probably have miracle written on them, but anyway, they don't. That being said, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for letting me into your life, all 163 of you. Yes, the number has grown a little bit. I think 2 people have come in. But hey, I mean, it's a revolving door. If you don't like something that I post, it's fine. And I had this debate with other people, and it's been on TikTok. I didn't do it, but somebody else brought it up, and they had said that Trump supporters were terrible people, and I couldn't really agree with that because there are reasons why people follow Trump. I don't know what it is, but I don't because he's a racist. People will understand it. The racist and bigot shit is a thin line, but to be honest, if you're a bigot, you might as well say you're a racist. You really do. You might as well say that. And that's where the political bullshit ends with me. And then for people who don't agree, 9 times out of 10, if you don't agree about racism, it's because you probably haven't been the victim of racism. Where my 48-year-old ass has been the victim of racism for the bulk of my life. I can tell you honestly, I've said this before. I'll say it 1,000 times more before I die. I can count on my hands how many times I've been the victim of racism by white people. So, probably about like 7. 2, for natives. I would need my feet and my hands for the racism that I have received from blacks. So I know you guys didn't think that was going to happen in this chit chat, but it's the truth. And the thing about the truth is that no one likes a truth teller. No one. So I give you 99.9, and you take the other 1,000 the way you feel. All right? And I say this openly and respectfully, even to the Trump supporters, because look, we can still be friends. We just keep politics the fuck out of our minds and our mouths, and we'll be fine. Because, let me make this clear. And you can go find these videos if you're a Trump supporter and you hate what I say. You can go find these videos. You can bitch at me afterwards, but you can go find these videos. So, first thing you need to Google is the documentary of the Central Park 7. It's not 7, it's 5, but you can go Google the documentary of the Central Park 5. I don't know why I keep saying 7, but it's actually only 5 of them, so my mistake. And I own that mistake every time I say it, because every time I say it, I assume that there's 7 men, but there's 5 black men who were roughly my age when this shit happened. We were in our teens. Let's Google that so I can make sure I know exactly how old I was. Google is your friend. Not really, but he's somebody's friend. It's not mine. What year did the Central Park 5 happen?
According to Wikipedia, the Central Park jogger case, events also referenced as the Central Park 5 case, was a criminal case in the United States over the aggravated assault and rape of a woman in Manhattan's Central Park on April 19, 1989, occurring at the same time as an unrelated string of other attacks in the park the same night.
Okay, so we have 1989. Now we're going to do this math real quick, because I was born in 1973. So, 89 minus 73 equals 16. So I was 16 in 1989. So you guys can go view that, the Central Park documentary. And you can also go watch video clips on YouTube of our former president saying that he wished that they had been hung. Those kids are black. Being hung is very significant to every ethnicity in this country. Why is it significant to every ethnicity in this country? Time for some history, motherfuckers. White people have been hung for loving black people and being with black people and allying with black people. Why did I bring out white people first? Because white people generally also are the ones who did the fucking hanging. I am sorry if I have offended anybody white that follows me, but you can go fact check that shit. Most of the white people that did anything for black people were hung by white people. They weren't hung by black people. They were hung by white people. Black people, second bunch of people that have been hung by white people. Natives have been hung and scalped by white people. In fact, it's still legal in some places today to scalp a fucking native. Now let that sit in your pipe and smoke for a second, because I just found that out like 2 months ago, and I just didn't bring it up because it's kind of hard to believe that in some states it's still legal to scalp and hang people. Now, Biden just signed a non-lynching bill so that it is legal. It is illegal for you to hang anybody now, because lynching is hanging. So if you're thinking about lynching somebody, you're done, and you're finally gonna get the charges that you deserve, which is murder. So now in the 50 states, hopefully, the non-lynching bill will fucking be enforced by the fucking strongest forces of the law, because people got hung. Oh yeah, let me go back to Asians now. First Chinese immigrants that discovered gold, they were murdered. And their gold was taken, and somebody staked their claim. So there are Asians that are connected to this one Asian guy who had all this gold, but he was murdered by white people. And they took his gold, cashed it in. It's out in California. I do not know the name of the guy, but I do know that they had mentioned it, and it is not just a story. It's not just an urban legend. It's a motherfucking fact that most Asians that found gold didn't get to check their gold in, and they were terminated. Same thing with the railroads, with natives, blacks, and Asians working the railroads. Step out of line, they found your body. More than likely, you were hung or you were beaten to death by the overseers. And this is after slavery and before World War I. And then World War II, when they decided to finally use natives as a means to an end, if you would. So you don't like my content when I talk about Trump? My problems with Trump go way back to 1993 and 89, as you just saw. In 1993, Trump had an issue with Native American casinos not having to pay high taxes because his casinos had to pay high taxes. But what he failed to understand, the Native American casinos fed the tribe with the casino money. The bulk of that money was supposed to go to the tribe. And whatever didn't go to the tribe went back into the casino for new games, new employees, things like that. But our illustrious former president didn't like that shit. So, because certain natives didn't look native, they were probably light-skinned natives, white-passing natives, so they were probably giving, they're natives. We all come in different colors. But also location, certain areas of America, natives are brown, like me, brown. Certain areas of America, natives are even darker. Some Mexicans are light natives, some Mexicans are dark natives. Some First Nations up top, Ojibwe and all those, some of them are light, some of them are dark. Some of them are white passing. Some of us are black passing. I just happen to be the guy that no one seems to understand it. I'm also black as well as native. But I've been mistreated a lot more by blacks than natives. So, but I'm not the only one, because the way they treated The Rock when he wanted to play John Henry was fucked up. But then you always wonder why he will play Samoan. And now you know why I have to build myself out as a native. Because racism is everywhere. No person on earth is above racism. But just because you don't know about racism, it's because you're not looking at racism. Or you're not the victim. Or you don't know someone who's been the victim of racism, so you just turn a blind eye. Oh, that's not racist. That was just being bigot. Let's see what Google has to say about the difference between being a racist and being a bigot. Let's do that. So then maybe you guys can open up your minds, your eyes, and your hearts just a little bit more than you normally would. What is a bigot?
Here's the definition of bigot. A person who is obstinately or unreasonably attached to a belief, opinion, or faction, especially one who is prejudiced against or antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular group.
Got that? What is a racist?
Here's the definition of racist. Prejudiced against or antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized.
So y'all gonna go back and play this video, and you're gonna listen to the damn definitions are practically the same. What is a bigot?
Here's the definition of bigot. A person who is obstinately or unreasonably attached to a belief, opinion, or faction, especially one who is prejudiced against or antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular group.
Now y'all heard that. That's the second time. What is a racist?
Here's the definition of racist. Prejudiced against or antagonistic toward a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized.
Now, that just added like a whole nother sentence and added the word racial. So if you're a bigot, you're fucking racist. Period. You might not want to hear that. So for the sake of all that is holy, yes, even Biden said something that was racist. I hold him accountable for that shit, because if you don't vote for me, you ain't black is exactly what the fuck he said. You can Google it. But you can also Google everything I said about Trump. Both of these parties are fucking us either way. We've voted, if you're Democrat, you voted for the lesser of two evils. That's just a fact. And there's no third party. But see, here's the thing about the third party. If we could have a third party, would it be better? Would it be worse? Would you vote? Because I think if they had an independent party, like literally an independent party, instead of an elephant and a fucking donkey, they'd probably have a human over here. And that human would probably be the one to tell everybody, hey, why are we not working together? Why is everybody in Congress viewing the same thing differently and fighting against the better for the people if you're supposed to be from the people, for the people, by the people? But I want you guys to understand those definitions of bigot and racist. There's no difference. There really isn't. There is no fucking difference. Bigot has written one less word in their entire definition than racist. Racist has added two words. It added racial and ethnicity. So, why do you think there's a difference between the word bigot and racist when Google just read this bitch to you twice? So, if you're a bigot, you're fucking racist. I'm sorry. You can have bigoted ways. Our ex-president made that possible for you to be able to feel free to publish that shit out in the street. Yeah, I'm the biggest bigot that ever was. And you can just be prejudiced. But to be honest, ain't no difference between being prejudiced and being racist. Except for prejudice could also be towards somebody's birth defects or shit like that. Also towards their race. You know, I don't want to deal with this handicapped motherfucker because he's in a wheelchair. He's overly qualified and he's going to take my job. That's being a racist and a bigot at the same time. And being prejudiced because of being able to distinguish someone who has a disability. So there is no damn difference. If you're a bigot, you're a bigot. If you're a bigot, you're also a racist. There's no fucking difference. Now, you have bigoted ideologies and you keep it to yourself, you're just an undercover bigot. Or undercover racist. If you choose to follow a bigot or a racist, I'm not saying you are a bigot or a racist, but you are condoning bigoted and racist activities. Think about that shit before you stop following me again. Because like I said to Trump supporters, I don't think you're all terrible people. I really don't. Guy I follow on TikTok might think you're all terrible people, but I just think you might be a little bit misguided or don't understand that the epidemic of the racial shit that comes out of his mouth. Also, you can view the video where he calls calls Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas in front of the Wind Talkers, or the Co-Talkers, Father Navajo. Yeah, I misspoke. I called her Pocahontas instead of calling her Elizabeth Warren. But he was doing that since he got in office. But y'all don't see that as racist, right? I have a grandmother named Pocahontas, by the way. Her real name is Marie, but her nickname is Pocahontas. So, it is what it is. Now, what about when he literally told a Chinese reporter to go ex-China? What about when he started calling COVID-19 the Kung Flu or the Chinese virus? But I'm pretty sure y'all don't think that's racist. And if I have offended you and you're a Trump supporter, go watch the video. I can't doctor it because I'm stupid. But doesn't mean I didn't see it. And he literally called her Pocahontas on live TV at the fucking damn medal ceremony of giving it to the Navajo. One of the Navajo dudes even cracked up a smile, started laughing. He started giggling. He broke composure. And he wasn't the one in the wheelchair. Because there was 3 of them there. One was in a wheelchair and the other 2 were standing. Trump gave them their medal. And he said that you guys are very important to us. We have someone who's just as old as you guys that has been staying here in the White House forever. We call her Pocahontas. But you guys probably don't think that that was racist. Because you probably haven't been the victim of racism. And see, that's the other reason why I had said that a lot of Trump supporters aren't racist or terrible people. They just have no fucking knowledge of what racism is. And that can happen. And I'll tell you how I know that can happen. Because when I joined the Army, when we were in processing, I met this kid from fucking Iowa or Idaho or some shit. And he was like from the butt fuck part of it where there's nothing but country. When we got to the military, they told us what we weren't supposed to have. You can have your keys, but you couldn't have these. See that? You couldn't have these. They'd break them and give them back to you. They threw away my pocket knife. They threw away his pocket knife. They let him have his MP4 thing, or M4. It's a little square thing that plays music. They took that from him at processing. They gave it back to him when we were getting, like, our 2 weeks down there when I discovered the flying roach named Herbie. Now it is as big as my cell phone. He can fly. Still scared of roaches now. I wasn't scared of them until I got back to Fort Benning. I had got over my fear of roaches. Anyway, he had his shit stolen from under his arms. He listened to music every night before he went to sleep. After we all got our showers and stuff, someone stole his shit. You know what happened? They fucking went through all of our shit. All of our shit. But whoever stole it stashed it pretty well, and he never got it back until we got ready to go down range. Now his team went down range before my team went down range, and I got stuck being an Oscar until we got down range when I became Bravo, 11 Bravo. So I was 11 Oscar and became 11 Bravo. Okay? Then when we was 11 Bravo, I didn't know where that kid went, but I know that they told us, you're not going to have your cell phones to the end of the month. So I didn't have a cell phone because I'm poor and I went there without one because I had broke up with my girlfriend and I got rid of my cell phone because I had nobody to call. I had friends, but, I couldn't afford a cell phone, so it was no point. If I needed them, I had their phone number and I could go dial it on the landline. But now in the military, you see everybody with a cell phone. Like, well, when I was at Fort Benning, we weren't allowed to even touch a cell phone. They literally made me use my friends' cell phones to call people. I literally only talk to people like this. Hi, I'm good, goodbye. And the drill sergeant's like, no. The next time that you make a phone call, you will actually have an honest-to-God phone call. I looked at the drill sergeant and said, Drill Sergeant, with all due respect, I'm 37 years old. I do not want to call those motherfuckers. And he looked at me and said, I don't give a fuck what you want. You will call your family this Sunday at a landline if I have to drag your ass to fucking golf to make you do it. And I literally went to golf, downrange, where we started, to fucking make that phone call. And the drill sergeant stood there for 10 minutes. And he told me, your phone call is going to last 10 to 15 minutes. No exceptions. And if it does not, I'm going to fucking smoke your shit. So I had talked to my mom and everybody in this damn house for like 10 minutes. And he said, next Sunday, you're going to do it again. It's like, Drill Sergeant, I am 37 years old. I don't want to talk to these people. Can't I just write them letters that we can work out? But next Sunday, you're still going to talk to these people. And so the next Sunday, I had to talk to these people. I was still in Bravo. And so then I got to write letters instead. So I paid for like a fuck ton of stamps. And I wrote letters. I mostly wrote to my ex and never mailed them. And I mostly wrote to my mom and my dad, and I mailed them, but I never mailed the ones to my ex. I think I brought them home and I burnt them, just so I could like make sure that everything was good with me. I burnt them, and then I had a moment of weakness, and then she called the cops on me for harassment. So they told me that I could never ever speak to her again, and so I haven't. So that was that. But other than that, that was like fucking 11 years ago. But any damn how. The point being made is that if you haven't been the victim of racism, then you don't know what the fuck racism is. But there's another point. And I want to say this to my fellow Asians. So if you get mad at me, it's fine. But I want you to do your research. Out of the 15 attacks that happened in New York during the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of the Asians that were attacked weren't even Chinese. But because of racist ass black people and racist ass white people, they thought that they were attacking Chinese. And same thing with California, with the racist ass white people and the racist ass black people. And then there was in Boston, which I got my TikTok banned for defending the Asian women against the bald-headed black dude named Mr. Clean. I don't know his name, but he's a dick. And then let's not forget that my future wife and I both went off on the man that was recording the Chinese guy crying over the cans to feed his family in San Francisco. And those were racist-ass black people. It was a white man chasing a lady with Febreze because he thought she was Chinese. More recent attacks, Elizabeth Munn. I think that's her name. Something Munn. Olivia. I'm sorry, Olivia Munn. Olivia Munn got involved, which made people start taking notice. Because she's a lot more famous than me, so motherfuckers like, yo, we can't let this happen, because Elizabeth Munn's friend's mom got attacked. She was the one that got shoved into the bags or some shit. She got hurt real bad. The black man who broke into the Korean store started beating 2 Korean ladies with a brick. Because these motherfuckers were racist and prejudiced towards Asians. They may have always been racist and prejudiced towards Asians, but that shit went on the rise the fucking second that former president started calling it the Chinese virus, Kung Flu, or the Chong something or another. There's a lot of them out there. You guys can go Google them. If you don't like what I'm saying, then go see what I'm saying. But like I said, there was a Filipino man who got cut from this side of his face to that side of his face because somebody thought he was Chinese on a bus in New York. So I have Asian friends that live in New York. I have Asian friends that live in America, in other places in America. I worry about my Asian friends every fucking day. So when my Asian friends are worried for their life and they have their fellow Asians who are not Chinese, but they are like either Filipino or Japanese or Korean and a few Chinese, which is shocking, and they're all hollering Trump 2024. You're not doing your research. You're not remembering the other Asians who people thought were Chinese because of the Kung Flu and the China virus and whatever other detailed virus that racist people are going by. Racist people don't know the difference between Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Laotian, Laos, Vietnamese, Indonesian, Malaysia, Native Hawaiians, Native Tahitians, Native Polynesians. They don't know the difference. And if you think they won't fucking cut you or stab you or try to set you on fire like the 4 black girls set the little Chinese lady on fire on the fucking bus, and the other attack of the lady off the bus by 4 black girls, then you need to wake the fuck up and understand that shit. Bigot speech and racist speech hurts people. You just haven't been on the end of the chopping block yet. That's what that shit is. So, if you're Asian and you're supporting Trump, you're supporting people hurting your people. Keep that shit in mind when you're up there doing this Trump 2024 shit. When the next person that comes across your FYP on TikTok or somebody that you give a flying fuck about is attacked by somebody who looks just like me because they're racist and they don't know the difference between Ling and Lo. Because Ling is interchangeable. And so is Lo. And so is Chow. And so is Cho. And so is Chu. Those are interchangeable with Chinese and Korean. Park is Korean. Cho, again, is interchangeable. I learned this because I have Asian friends that I worry about all the fucking time. Lee, L-E-E, L-E, L-I, those are Chinese. It's also used as a stereotype for racist. Hey Lee, let's name every Asian character Lee because it's easy to connect with Bruce Lee and call them Lee. Or let's name them Chan so we can connect with Jackie Chan. Lee, Chan, Hung, Ho, Chow, Cho. All those are Chinese names. And if you're Chinese, and those are your names, you could be in danger. by people who don't know the fucking difference between your race and the fact that the virus, you may not have it, but because you're Asian, they might just decide, hey, let's just go ahead and fuck this person up. So if I've offended anybody with this, I apologize. But you need to be aware of what the fuck racism is. You need to be aware of what the fuck a racist is. You need to be aware of what the fuck a bigot is. You also need to understand that the uptick of crimes against Asians from blacks and whites didn't boost up until the coronavirus happened. There was always issues in the communities. There was always issues. But they were never this bad to where someone has to break into a Korean store with a brick, start cussing out two Korean ladies in their 50s, their late 50s, and beating them with the brick because he thought he was going to get the Chinese virus from going to the Korean store. And you tell me I don't have the right to worry about my Korean friends or my Chinese friends or any of my Asian friends because of shit like this happening? I'm not a racist. And yes, I prefer to date Asian women. I'm not biased. Just had some bad experiences with black women and a few bad experiences with white women, and I just prefer Asian women. If you want to call me racist, then do that. But I have learned from the reverse racism that I have faced from all of my heritages. But I've also learned by observing and watching. And you can go Google all those motherfucking attacks. And somewhere along the line, they will lead you back to a racist or a bigot. You choose whichever one. But if you follow him, that's on you. But also remember that if you're Asian and you follow him, you're helping his cause to fuck up your people. You just haven't been on the chopping block yet because you, like all the people who say size matters in a fight, you just haven't ran into the right racist yet. That's it. You haven't ran into that racist that's bold, don't give a fuck about the law, and decides that they're going to try to unalive you for the simple fact of the one thing you can't help, your fucking ethnicity. But that motherfucker couldn't give a shit because they're racist, and they think that one person is everyone else. If they see you as Chinese and you're Vietnamese, they don't give a fuck. And if you think that they do, you're fucking yourself. And if you want to support the bigot that's causing your fellow Asians to get fucked up, you're no better than him. Keep that shit in mind when you're trumping 2024. If he doesn't go to jail for whatever charges they're bringing up on him. I'm pretty sure he's going to walk. They're going to cut some kind of fucking deal. I'm pretty sure he's going to fucking walk. Because, before I close this, I'm going to go ahead and say it. You're not going to like this, and I don't give a damn. That's going to be a you problem. But you also got to understand how the truth actually fucking works. So, Biden's kid was in the news this week. I don't know what it was. Something about where he lives and all that other bullshit. He was in the news. And everybody on every news channel was making some big stink about it. Something with Secret Service and Biden's kid living in Malibu in the highest area and the most expensive spot, etc., etc. And all of his side jobs. But nobody said shit when Trump's kids were doing it. Nobody said shit when the oldest Trump child daughter was using resources for whatever the fuck her side company was. But nobody said shit. So why does Trump's kids get a pass and Biden kid does not? Because you guys don't give a fuck about truth or justice or the American way. You only give a fuck about what fucking benefits you. So here's an honest opinion, and you can take it. Whether you are a Biden supporter or a Trump supporter. Understand the one truth that I'm about to tell you is the only truth. Republicans and Democrats don't give a fuck about us. Why do you think the world's so fucked up? The rich people who get less tax cuts by the Republicans and the Democrats? You think they give a fuck about what you do when you gotta work 3 and 4 jobs, put gas in your car, and feed your children? Do you think they honestly give a fuck? No. And when they give you these political campaigns and we all fall for the same shit, I fell for it. And like I said, initially I was going to vote for Elizabeth Warren because she's part Native. And maybe she can get those assholes in the BIA to do their fucking job and investigate indigenous murders and missing. And then there's those children in the church schools. Maybe she'd look up Maybe she'd step up. My second choice was Andrew Yang because he was Chinese and he was running while there's a Chinese pandemic where everybody's blaming China. And then up until his wife started getting threats, he was down. So to whoever threatened his wife, you're a dick. And for anybody supporting that, threatening somebody's family and wife because they're in the political game, you're also a dick. Finally, my last choice was the gay dude, Pete. I can't say his last name without fucking it up. So Petey Pete. Because on top of all of it, even though all politicians just tell you what you want to hear, those three people seem to be the most genuine. Alright? And the fact that if you either had a part native woman, a Chinese president, or a gay president, would have been a hell of a lot better than the shit that we had before. And it also would probably stop the world. Like, for at least one day. Can you imagine if Elizabeth Warren had won? How much that world would have just stopped and everybody would like, damn, we about to get some serious changes. The world needs a feminine touch, and boom, there she is. And what if Andrew Yang won? Damn, we got a Chinese president, the first in history. And during a crisis. Let's see what he can do. He never got that chance. Top dog, though. And probably the youngest of the running, so he still has time to run again. Pete. Gay president. Gay first man. That shit would have been fucking history making. Have an open mind, y'all. Y'all don't want to follow me no more, it's fine. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm still going to make videos because this keeps me alive. It helps me with my depression. It's also hopefully helping my acting career. You don't have to support me. But I do love you. And I do thank you for letting me at least come into your life for 30 some odd minutes and a bunch of fucking videos that I'm about to post. If you're watching this and it's Monday morning, then they've already been posted. Currently the time is 1:05 a.m. So it is Monday morning. That being said, I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. Be blessed, be careful, be safe. Do your research.